What's up YouTube, my name's Will, we're back again with Ben's van, and now in today's video we're going to be showing you guys how to replace the rear discs and pads on the Caddy Mk4.
Just crack the nuts, not all the way off obviously because it's not jacked up, but before you jack it up you have to loosen off all these, just crack them a tiny bit so it's easier to get them off, and then jack it up, jack stands underneath, drop it down onto the jack stands, and then you can fully take off your wheel. So that's what I'm going to do now on both sides, and then we'll get back to you. Piston.
Right, so how we're doing this, get your trolley jack under the axle there and jack her up, and then get two jack stands and stick them underneath the axle and then let her down slow, and there we go, she's on the stands.
Right, so we have all of them cracked. I have a few of them out. Take the wheel off, leave them off to the side so you don't lose them.
Hang on.
Bob's your uncle, jobs are good.
Now you're definitely not going to lose.
Yeah. So what we did first was, right, so we kind of got, well, I got
carried away.
So there's two screws, right, so they're, what size are they, Will?
Half inch bolts.
Right, half inch bolts, right. One of them's here, one of them's here, and one of them's directly underneath it here. If you come over this side, Will.
I can see it from here.
Yeah, so here and here, right?
At the back of the caliper.
Yeah, at the back of the caliper. So tuck them out, and you should be able to wiggle off the caliper itself. Right, hold on.
Right pads out.
Take that off.
Right pad out.
So this is where we are, right? So we have our
Piston wind back tool.
piston wind back tool, right? That goes there.
Sit your plate in. And then you want to make sure that your adapter plate is the right way around depending on what kind of piston you have. So R1, the grooves are like
Wider.
quite on the outside, so the pins are the wider ones, not the narrower ones. And then all you're going to do is just wind this in until
tight there, like.
it pushes the piston back.
Once you have this caliper off, just leave on the leaf spring at the back. It's a good spot to have it just there. And then you need a T30 screwdriver or a T30 bit, whichever you have, to take off the little screw here that's holding on the brake, this caliper itself, or the brake disc itself, sorry. So that comes out. Put that in your little tray.
You may need a hammer to get it.
You need a fucking hammer, right?
Fuck. Hammer the fuck out of it,
And it should come off. Now, we were hoping to get it off
without having to take the caliper hanger off, but
I don't think that is the case.
the caliper hanger has two bolts at the back, one here and one down the bottom. They're fairly seized on, so
we're gonna need to figure out how to get it off. Now, now that the caliper's out of the way, it'll be a bit easier.
A bit easier, but sure.
Still a bit of a pox.
Right, so we're doing our little trick here again with the trolley jack. So obviously these two bolts that are behind here to get the caliper hanger off are really seized on. They're on really fucking tight. So we can't get an impact in there. So the next best solution is to stick the ratchet on behind here, as you can see. And we have the ratchet on there, and then we just got the trolley jack up underneath it. And I'm holding the ratchet onto the bolt. Obviously Ben's jacking up the trolley. And as this goes up, it's just going to crack the nut until we can do it by hand. So if you have nuts that are stuck and you can't get an impact in there, trolley jack is the one.
He's your best friend.
It's your best friend, it's fucking right.
So what we have now, we have the bracket off, and then that will come off now, and we have that there, right? So that's obviously the old one.
That's the bare hub.
And that's the bare hub. Now we have a wire brush. Just knock off all of that surface rust and make it flat for when the next one goes onto it, it has a flat surface to connect onto, and it's not like off in any sort of way at all. So that's what we're going to do, and then next step is to get
the new discs on.
Get that compressed, get the caliper compressed, and then new brake pads in, and then on to the next stage then.
Right, so what we just taught actually, before we stick the new disc on, we're going to try wind the piston back now. So instead of having to try and hold this in our hands and all, we put the hanger back on just temporarily, put the caliper back onto the hanger just with the bottom 1/2 inch bolt just to hold it on. And this is really stupidly hard to do by hand, so we're going to try and do it just to wind the piston back. And there we go. Piston wound back.
Boom.
Bosh. Bang.
That's so fucking great.
Right, now we have the piston wound back, which was, oh, you have no idea, the last time we did this we didn't have the wind back tool, and it took us like the whole day just to get the piston wound back.
Yeah, it was a bit of a pain in the fuck.
But with that done, we're going to take the
Caliper
back off, the hanger back off, and then put the disc on, put the new pads in, put it all back together, and then do the other side. Yeah. Just while I have everything out of the way, it's a bit easier for you to see. You can see there where the 2 bolts are for the caliper hanger. Just 1, 2, that's all. And they are what size, Ben? They're probably about 18.
I think they're an 18, yeah.
But the closest we have is a 3/4 inch.
Oh yeah, a 3/4 inch. Yeah.
So that'll have to do. Right, new disc.
New disc goes on. Now, obviously there's handprints on this.
Now,
I'll be giving it a wipe.
You see,
sorry, I see a little thread hole there.
that little hole.
So you need to line up the smallest hole of all of these to that hole and put back in the T30 nut that came out of it. So that goes there, and that goes back in. Then with your T30 screwdriver that you got to take off the old one, you use to put back on the new one. So,
and that doesn't need to be like really,
tight,
like stupid tight. It's just to keep it there. Obviously, once the wheel nuts are in, like it's not going anywhere.
that's the disc on. Right now, next step,
Hanger back on, realistically.
Hanger back on. I'm just gonna give it a fucking
quick once over with the wire brush.
So then, for the bracket, slicing that way.
Yep.
And it goes at the back there. Slide one bolt through just to lock it in. So that's that. And then slide the other one in, drop that one in, and you put them as tight as you get them. So they're tight now. Now,
just at this point, check that the disc spins freely, that it's not
rubbing
against your hanger, which ours is, so that's all good.
So then the brake pad goes in, little springs on them, goes in towards the front, the middle of the disc. So you just compress that in, it should pop into place. And then the exact same on the back.
Not gonna be able to see much from this side, but it's the same thing just on the back.
It's the exact same thing.
Now in theory, once
hopefully,
they're in,
now that we compress this, we'll be able to fit this back over. Yeah.
There we go.
She's gone on perfect. First try.
Right, so.
Oh yeah. So
with the pads that Ben bought, they actually gave you new hardware to put back the caliper on with. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
That one goes just at the top there.
It has a bit of the old Loctite on the thread, so it's kind of hard to get going. But top one in,
bottom one in, and I'm just
bottom one going in.
Oh fuck me!
Right. So then all you have to do, obviously, is tighten them up. We're going to clean the disc up a bit, and then get the wheel back on. Just before we put the wheel back on, just going to give the inside of the rim a bit of a scrub with a wire brush as well, just to clean up the surface. So yeah,
just to flatten it out, that when it's going onto the flat surface here that isn't rusted,
it's as flush as possible.
there's not going to be like amount of rust this side, no rust this side, or like little rust this side and a lot of rust here. That's going to be like offset. Like even like by like a tiny bit, it'll still affect it. Like, so next step is to just put the wheel back on. So line it up with the holes, thread your first one in, and so on and so forth. You get the 5 in, tighten them up, and then go fucking star to tighten them fully
with the assault ratchet. Now, if you want to be particular about it, and once we've done the other side and dropped the van, we're gonna double check
with a hand wrench.
The torque spec for wheel nuts is like 100 newton meters. That's plenty. So we're just going to double check that once we have the other side done. Let's go.
Let's go.
Right, so what? I don't know how many hours later, but
yeah, it is now. Right, we started at probably about 10 to 2.
No,
it was
later than that.
It was at
half 2, 3.
Oh, it's now. It's backwards, but
it's 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock,
and
we started at about half 2, 3 o'clock. Now, for mechanics, it's an easy job, but for us,
we're not mechanics. We're just car guys, so we're just showing you how to do it. Like, now there might be some mechanics in the comments going, "What the actual fuck are you at?" But
we got the job done.
Get the job done. Basically, how you do it. So that's how you do the distance pads at the back of a VW Caddy Mk4. If it helped you do your own, make sure to drop a like on the video. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to continue to see what we're going to do to these vans and for more servicing and tips and tricks, consider going down there, click the subscribe button, make sure you ding along the bell so you get notified when we do upload. So from me and Ben, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.